Hello caffeine fiends and welcome to another coffee review video for www.getbean.com. I'm Vince the Mean Bean Machine, and today we have a very special coffee review because we're looking at the Motörhead branded coffee. That's right, one of the greatest British metal bands of all time have collaborated with Dark Arts Coffee, whom I'm already a big fan of, to create their own blend. Might be a single origin. Whatever. Motörhead have their own coffee now, which is weird. You know, you could look at it cynically, saying they're just trying to cash in since their lead singer is dead. Whatever. That's what Kiss have done for years. I mean, none of them are dead. No, yeah, anyway. And the Rolling Stones will brand anything, so I'm not going to begrudge Motörhead their moment in the sun with some coffee. Anyway. So here we have No Sleep by Dark Arts, obviously a reference to the classic album No Sleep Till Hackney, classic live album, very clever branding, and just look at how gorgeous this box is. I mean, it's so ornately kind of decorated, it's really actually a thing of beauty, which may explain why the coffee cost me £15 for 250 grams. Like, if I'm spending £15 on 250 grams of coffee, it better be damn good coffee. But, you know, you also know a lot of that is because of the branding, and it's just like, you'd have to be a real idiot to spend £15 extra just because it's got the Motörhead logo on. Anyway, as one of those idiots, I'm really intrigued to see how it goes down. I mean, you do also get this postcard with it, so, you know, is that worth like £5? No. So yeah, I mean, it's got a bit of blurb on the back. Blah blah blah. You're not starting your day with liquor and shame. This is the next best thing. Blah blah blah. Tasting notes are everything blacker than everything else. Very witty. Ha ha ha. You're hard in your mouth. Anyway. So that's not helpful in terms of tasting notes, but if you look on the top, it says milky chocolate mouthfeel with nutty caramel notes and lots of sweetness. Now that is my jam, in terms of coffee at least. So, actually got high hopes for this. The problem is, because of the packaging is so gorgeous, I don't really want to open it, but I will. We'll do it as an espresso shot, and then there's no latte. And yeah, we're good to go. So yeah, hopefully it's really good. One, because I'm a fan of Dark Arts, like, they haven't steered me wrong yet, why would they steer me wrong now? And two, I'm a fan of Motörhead. It would be a shame if they made poor coffee. Not that I think the band actually had any input into this, but you know, still, it's the association. And three, I've spent a heck load of money on it. So, like I say, we'll grind it up and give it a go. Here goes. Now we have our espresso shot, so what are we looking for again? I believe it is milky chocolate mouthfeel with nutty caramel notes and lots of sweetness. So, sweet and chocolatey, just what I'd associate with Motörhead. It doesn't smell too strong, but it does have a glorious crema on it. It actually has maybe a slightly fruity, almost sawdusty feel to it. But that's just the smell, so let's give it a taste. Yeah, Yeah. No. That's actually really smooth coffee. And it's just not really what I expected from the branding and everything. It's actually really smooth, really nice. No cloying or clutching at the back of the throat. You kind of sip it and go, oh, this might be a bit strong. And that it's all at the front of the mouth. It doesn't kind of grab you at the back, which is and then it's got this smooth mouthfeel kind of down the back of the throat. So it's got this kind of silkiness to it. It's a silky luxuriousness to it. Which again is weird with the branding association. So let's try and put that to one side. And there is kind of, yeah, that silky, milky smoothness. Yeah, and then this kind of, there's almost a fruitiness at the front of the tongue, the kind of very front of the mouth, but it doesn't, you swallow and it doesn't kind of go down with the rest of the flavouring. That silky taste, sensation goes down. And it doesn't mention any kind of fruitiness, which is interesting, but the milky chocolate mouthfeel, yeah, nutty caramel notes. Yeah, I can sort of see that. There's not a great deal of nuttiness, and I would say kind of caramel is more coats the tongue, more of a coating. But yeah, I can see them there. Well, they don't stand out. But that milky chocolatiness, I think there's almost an alcoholic hint to it. A sort of there's a tang there, if you see what I mean. A sort of kind of bite that feels almost deliberately put in, and perhaps it intentionally was. So there's this kind of weird juxtaposition of kind of smoothness and a slight acidic, just ever so slightly, at the front of the mouth. So, yeah, but it's surprisingly smooth. Yeah. I wouldn't drink that as a espresso shot, because although there's a smoothness, that flavour right at the front is just a bit too bitter is perhaps not the right word, but it's got that slight, clamp on the tip of your tongue. I guess a bitterness to it. But an intentional bitterness. You can tell that's not a roughness. But I'm intrigued to see how it will work as Note Latte, because if that smoothness and that creaminess and that sweetness really comes out, that'll be one hell of a coffee. Yeah, I guess it's not a bitterness at the front of the mouth, it's a sweetness that's almost too sweet. It's, when you get sweets in themselves that say sour, but they're not sour, they're just incredibly sugary and sharp. It's a bit like that. But you swallow, and that kind of instantly disperses from the tip of your tongue as you get this smooth, silky sensation. Yeah. Pleasant. Bizarre. I don't know what to make of that. Let's give it a go as Note Latte and see if I can come up with something more concrete. We now have the drink as an oat latte, as the video will tell you. I completely balls that up by spilling my coffee everywhere and not getting my milk thick enough. It should be fine enough for the purposes of what we want, to be honest. It should do the job, but it was just a terrible pull on my part. But we're looking for milky, silky, chocolatey, nutty, caramelly type. So here goes. Oh wow, yeah, so instant transformation with the oat milk. There's a paring back of that taste I was saying was on the tip of my tongue, that kind of intense sweetness. It was kind of so sweet it was almost bitter or sour, yeah? and that's sort of dissipated throughout the drink. And that nuttiness, there is a nice kind of warm nuttiness to it. The chocolate, the milk chocolate kind of really comes out. I mean, part of that is going to be because of the milk, but that chocolatey note is really complemented by the milk. And that kind of caramel coating, I guess, is there. So it's all there. It's all exactly as it says on the box, on the beautifully crafted box. Not as intense as I expected. You know why? Because it's Motörhead, and it's silly to be like, that's a Motörhead branded coffee, that's going to be strong as hell and intense. Because why would it be? What the hell does Motörhead have to do with anything with coffee? It's just like insane kind of association of like, yeah, metal and coffee. But you can have a good coffee, this, with Motörhead branding, this, that doesn't have to be like intensely black, and because if it were intense and black, it'd be an awful coffee, really. Yeah. So, actually, a really bloomin' enjoyable coffee with a lovely crafted box. Was it worth 15 quid? Maybe for the collector or the big fan among you. For myself, no, probably not, but it's a nice thing that I've tried. You know, I'm quite happy that I've tried it once, and I'm like, yeah, that was cool. I might keep the box. I'll definitely keep the postcard. Still probably not worth 15 quid. Like 10, 11, maybe. That's just a personal preference. Just a personal preference. I'm not calling anyone out for their pricing or whatever. Like, I paid for it, so it's obviously a good enough price point. It's not like ridiculous money. I knew I was paying for it, and I got a good coffee out of it. So, hey. Anyway, I'll go and write up some notes on this lovely coffee. And, yeah, come back with some thoughts. In the meantime, hit those like and subscribe buttons. So, here are my final thoughts on this Motörhead No Sleep Coffee by Dark Arts. So, intense sweetness as a shot that becomes very smooth, rich and creamy as a latte. So, the chocolate and the nuttiness comes through really well as a latte. I think it's a little too intense for me as an espresso shot, but as a latte drinker, I adored it as a latte. And I think, thinking back, I had issues in rating this because I really enjoyed the coffee, but the price point just wasn't there for me. So I think in hindsight, I had to put the price point to one side. So when I say my rating is 4 stars, that is for the coffee and the coffee alone. If I had to include the price point, which is just a little too pricey for me personally, it would have been like a 3-star coffee. Like, I would stretch to £15 for it, but I would not be happy about stretching to £15 regularly. But the thing is, it's not a regular coffee. It's like it's a Motörhead branded coffee. It's a really nice coffee, so that you can go, oh cool, the Motörhead branded coffee. You give it a go. You can go, actually, it's a really nice coffee. That's a 4-star coffee with a 3-star price point, is what I'm saying, basically. So it is a single origin from Brazil as well, which I did not mention earlier. So it is a Brazilian coffee, which also surprised me. I'm not a huge fan of Brazilian coffees in general, but this is a really nice, smooth, rich coffee. Beautiful packaging, and you know what? If you like the band and you can justify spending 15 quid, go for it. Absolutely go for it. It is a lovely coffee, and it's basically just because I'm a bit tight. So I thought, you know what, I can't mark it down because I'm tight-fisted. So, but do bear that in mind if you are going to buy it. It is going to be a bit pricier than a lot of other coffees. Otherwise, great coffee, loved it. Thank you very much for watching. Do hit those like and subscribe buttons. Check us out at getbean.com for more coffee reviews, cafe reviews, equipment reviews, and anything else coffee related. Thank you very much. Take care, and I'll see you all soon for another video. Bye bye.